In this video, we'll see how to use headless Charles. So first, what is Charles? So basically, Charles is a popular web proxy which is frequently used to help with testing mobile application and basically record the proxy traffic in a session file. And what is headless Charles? So it is less known that Charles has a command line mode that make it possible to use Charles for automation tasks as well. So first of all, you need to have Charles installed in your system and the path is set for the application or for the Charles application where it is installed. So for me, if I'll write Charles, then it should open the Charles. So that means our path is already set. So first, let's see how to capture the packets or the network proxies with Charles manually. Then we'll see how to use it with uh, the headless Charles in our automation scripts. So as you can see, this is the mobile, and here we have the Charles. So first of all, what I need to do to use Charles is, so basically I need to copy my IP address from here, and then I need to open the settings in Wi-Fi. I need to set this. Oh, it's already set for me. So basically you need to set this IP and the port, which is a default one for me, 8888. Then as you can see, if I'll open any application, so it will show, yeah, for example, here it is showing the request for every application. For example, I opened YouTube, so it is showing remote host closed, or maybe you need to configure your browser or application to trust the Charles root certificate. So now what we need to do is basically install the root certificate. For root certificate, we'll open the mobile browser, we'll open Charles. You can type this address and then just click go. And then you need to allow. Now your profile is downloaded, you need to install it in the settings. You can go to settings, and then you just need to open this profile and you just need to install it from here. So now it is installed. Now you need to search for certificate in settings. Just need to trust those Charles certificates which we have already installed. Yeah. And now you need to open the YouTube or any other application if you want. I'm just refreshing it. So here you can see we have the network logs for this application, or maybe whatever application you want to test. You can just filter with the name of your application. And now we'll see how we can use headless Charles so that we can work with automation. So as you can see, we have all the setup. So first of all, the first step in using the headless Charles, you just need to enable this web interface setting. You need to click enable and then OK. Then after that, you can even close this Charles application, and then you need to go to this path and copy this config file somewhere. if Charles is already installed, then this path will also exist, and I'm just copying it in my current folder. Not the directory. Oh shit. Yeah, I need to copy this. Okay, now it got copied. Now I'm using Python. You can use any of your language, and I'll use Appium for user interaction on the mobile. So I am creating a new project just to showcase how we are actually capturing the JSON data from Charles. So I'm creating it with Charles Headless, my interpreter. Okay. I'm using Python 3.7. You can use any of the language, it will work. So here I'll create a few files. So I'll basically create three files. One is for the Charles, and one is for Appium, and the other one is the main file. Okay, so now we have created these three files. What I'll do is I'll first write few APIs for starting the Charles, for recording the network logs, and for stopping the recording, and for stopping the session as well. So you just need to import the OS. Now, name of the file that you have copied. I'm storing that name in the global variable. And also the local URL you can save, or maybe if your Charles is running on some other system, then you can use this URL. And then you need to have some Charles APIs. I'll share the link with you guys so that you can find what are the other APIs as well, which you can use for your automation. So the first one is for recording. Next one is for downloading. And the next one is for stopping the child session. And also you can also use names of the output files which will be generated. So first file which will be generated is like it will, its extension is like CHLS. You can have any name. And then there is one converted file as well, which I can name as new recording file. And this converted file will be the readable format, which is the JSON format. And there can be, there, we can also define the port as well. For example, we were using the default port, which is 888. So now I'll define some functions or APIs. So the first one is for starting the Charles Headless. Yeah. So you can use this Charles. You can provide config name. We can run this process in background. Next function is to start the Charles recording. So you can call these functions directly in your terminal as well, like I'm using the os.system here for Python. So for downloading, you need to specify the local URL plus the port. Port should be in string. Then also you need to specify the recording URL, which we have specified here. Next function, we can create it for download the Charles recording. So basically, first it will start the headless browser, then it will start the recording, and then it will download the Charles recording. For this as well, we'll use os.system. Need to specify the output file here for downloading. And then you need to specify the URL where we have to download, which is the local URL plus the port. Then here you have to, in the last, similarly, you have to also specify the URL for recording. So after this recording URL, we'll define another function which is for stopping this recording. We'll specify the same way local URL plus the port. Port should be in strings. Then a space and then the Charles stop URL, which we have already defined in a variable. We also need to create one more function for converting the file that we have recorded into the JSON format. So for converting, you need to use this Charles and then convert name of the recorded file, with the recorded file we'll specify the new file as well, the new recording file. Now at last we'll also make one function for killing the Charles session. For this, simply we'll kill all the process with the name Charles, so that will automatically kill Charles session at the end. Okay, so now we have created these functions. Okay, I have created it in the wrong file. I'll just copy this to the Charles lib. Okay, now I need to create some user interaction to open the app and to see the data of that app. So for this I'm using Appium library file. So we'll just create one function for launching the application or opening the application. So for this I'll use Appium inbit library. You can use this for iOS and Android. So first we'll define some capabilities, which are my device capabilities, like the platform name, platform version, for me it is 13.1.3, device UDID. So UDID we can find out from the terminal. Device name, you can find that into the iTunes. This is my device name, and in last, bundle ID to open the app. So I'm taking an example of YouTube. So to find the bundle ID, I'm using device installer -L to list all the installed apps, and then I'll grab YouTube. So now I'll define one function, launch application. So first we'll define the local IP with the port, which is the default one I'm using. And then I'll specify the desired capabilities that we have defined above. For me, iOS Appium is already installed and all the setup is in place. So if you want to see the setup, how to do it, you can watch my other video. Now we'll come to the main file in which we'll call these functions which we have already created. So first of all, we'll just import these libraries. So first one is Appium and then the second one is Charles. Oops. And now we'll call all the functions which we need to call. So the first one is from Charles library to start the Charles headless. So before starting anything, we need to start the Charles headless. Then we need to start recording, and then we'll open our application, and then we'll download the logs. After downloading, we need to stop the recording. And after stopping, we need to call convert. So basically, at this point of time, when it will download the Charles logs, so it will download it in some Charles readable format. To use it in universally, you need to convert it into the JSON format so that you can also read those logs with the JSON parser as well if you want to use. And then at the last, we'll also we'll kill the Charles session that we have created. And we can also add some sleep. We need to give some time for Charles. To get started, I'm just using sleep here. So for me, as what I have observed, it takes some times, otherwise the test cases will get failed. Also, after launching the application, you can wait as well. Then only it will make sense to decode the Charles logs if your application is open for some time, and you can basically do the user interaction as well. This is just an example, so I'm just launching an application. So now let's see how it works. So we'll run this main file. So before running main, you also need to make sure that this file which we have copied in the first step, this need to be in your project folder. And now we'll run this file, main file, and see if we have the JSON recorded logs. So now it has started the Charles Headless, and it will wait for 15 seconds, and then it will start the recording. Like now it has started the recording. It launched the application using Appium, and then it is waiting for launching. It is waiting for downloading the logs. So now it has stopped the recording, and now it has converted the logs. Let's see if we got the logs. Yeah. So here we have these two files as an output. So one is this one, and then we have converted this one into this one. If we'll open it into the text editor, so this file is like this. We can even open this in the JSON formatted as well online. Just to format and see all the logs here. So we have all the network logs after launching an application and waiting for 10 seconds. Within that period, we have all the logs. You can filter these logs with the JSON parser, any of your choice. You can use inbuilt libraries of Python as well, or any of the language which you are using. Or even you can open these recorded logs into the Charles directly. So if you will see, yeah, like we have some YouTube logs here. So yeah, by this way you can use Charles Headless for your automated test cases with the mobile application. You can similarly use it with Selenium and browsers in your local system. I have used it with mobile, so that is how we can use it for mobile applications. Thank you very much.